We start in Latin America and the Caribbean, where two countries are gearing up for important elections. In Haiti, campaigning drew to a close yesterday, with more than 1,800 candidates from 105 political parties vying for seats in parliament. Haitian government officials, religious institutions, and international organizations have called for high participation in the country's legislative elections ahead of projection of low voter turnout in the long-delayed election. 5 years since a devastating earthquake hit Haiti in 2010, the country is still reeling from the crisis. Some have called the elections a test of the country's stability.
As for security, the National Police have guaranteed that every voting booth will be covered. Again, I am calling on everyone to go out and vote so that this election can be legitimate.
While in Argentina, 43 parties are preparing for primaries Sunday to eventually compete in general elections in October, where parliamentary, state government, local government, and the president will be voted for. Campaigning drew to close yesterday. Hundreds of protesters gathered outside the military hospital of Santiago after Manuel Contreras, Chile's former secret police chief, died at the age of 86. Protesters chant as they celebrate the death of the former second-in-command to Augusto Pinochet. Contreras had been linked to at least 1,500 deaths. He was serving a combination of 40 sentences, totaling more than 500 years in prison for crimes against humanity. An additional 59 cases were also pending against him.
With Manuel Contreras' death, we have to reveal and capture all of them. There can't be just 70 people detained on human rights charges. That's a lie. We're just recently finding out the truth, and we hope that President Michelle Bachelet acts quickly to process all of the people who are guilty of human rights violations.
In the U.S., close to 250 mourners marched through the streets of Ferguson to commemorate the first anniversary of the killing of 18-year-old Michael Brown by white police officer Darren Wilson on Friday. Actions have been called across the United States to demand justice for Brown, whose killing ignited racial tensions and sparked month-long protests, with heavily militarized police squads being deployed on the ground. Wilson was acquitted for the killing by a grand jury on November 25.
The Honduran National Water Company is in its worst crisis ever. 200 employees have been dismissed and have been protesting that they haven't been paid, and that the recently created Intervention Commission isn't really trying to rescue the company.
We suspect that the government wants to municipalize or privatize the service because they don't have any real intention of saving it. Yesterday they created a commission where we do not know who will be on it and which will supposedly save it.
According to the workers, the crisis is fake because daily the company collects 5 million lempiras, which is equivalent to $250,000, but the money is used for other things instead of what the company and the citizens need.
We have a repressive government, and everything is given to the private companies on a silver platter because they try to make people believe that private companies are better than public ones. But we are responsible workers. We don't even need the help of the government. This company can stand on its own. We don't need the government. But since it came to power, it's been going down because here the water company gets $5 million just in income every day, and where the money goes, we don't know.
In Honduras, the National Water Company is in charge of all water resources, which for many years has been an important objective for private national and international companies. For the first time, the government seems to be willing to put them for sale, with the excuse that it is facing a profound crisis in the company. Gerardo Torres, Telesur, Central America.
A policy for the youth should also be by the youth. This is the basis for a series of consultations with young people taking place across the islands of the OECS, as the OECS Commission puts together a youth development strategy. The Commission is recording the suggestions of the young people on the types of programs and policies which should be part of this strategy. Youth leader Elias Alfred says this type of consultation puts young people at the center of youth development.
But what the OECS is trying to do is trying to get the young people involved in the actual decision-making process. So I think on the perspective of a young person, it's actually quite refreshing.
Director General of the OECS Commission, Dr. Didacus Jules, says statistics list youth across the OECS as the most at-risk demographic. He says the grouping is hoping to put young people at the forefront of its efforts to formulate a comprehensive approach to youth development.
So the idea is to touch base with young people, to get from them their views, their aspirations, to find out from them the things that they would like to see put in place that could excite and motivate them to become better citizens, to become better prepared for the world of work, so that they can fully occupy the single space of the OECS.
Young people say the sessions give them the opportunity to express their feelings about existing youth services, provide ideas on the needs and interests of young people, and simply to ensure that the OECS youth strategy has significant youth input. Alison Kentish, De La Source, St. Lucia.
Finally, in Iraq, thousands marched through central Baghdad on Friday to protest against Allied government corruption and for the dissolution of parliament. Despite the summer heat of over 50 degrees Celsius, 122 Fahrenheit, people wave Iraqi flags and call on Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi to dismiss corrupt officials and to dissolve parliament. The unrest comes at a time when the Iraqi government is gearing up to battle Islamic State forces in a fresh offensive to retake the western Anbar province.
Facts that have marked the course of history. Productions designed in the English language and made for the English-speaking world. This is Documentary. Watch it on telesur.net/English. Telesur, wherever the news, you'll be there.